Because at yesterday's close, you chose not to sell the stock, even though you don't think you made a decision. You did. By not selling the stock, you declared to yourself or the market that this stock is worth this money or more. Whether or not you're right, it's a separate issue. Whenever we make a trade, we take a risk. That's fine. There is nothing wrong with taking a risk, but take a risk by, knowing what to do. So if you chose not to sell it yesterday, that's your cost. It's not $100. If it's $50, that's your cost. Or you bought it at $10, the stock is trading at 50. You chose not to sell it at 50. Your cost is 50. You're not $40 in profit anymore because you chose not to take that profit. And a lot of investors actually do that. That's one of the reasons some of the technical analysis stuff works. In fact, when we talk about Elliott waves, I don't believe in technical analysis too much, but sometimes Elliott waves help. There is there are 5 stages to Elliott waves, just like the 5 stages of grief. At some point, these people who refuse, just like the 5 stages of grief, there are 5 stages of loss. First, you deny that there's anything wrong. Okay, denial. It ain't just a river in East Africa, right? In fact, there ain't 2 rivers in East Africa. There's a regular Nile. There's also a blue Nile that comes from Ethiopia and goes to the main Nile. Huh? Oh yeah, I know. And Egypt actually is threatening Ethiopia. We'll see. Anyway, uh, first you deny, then you start bargaining, and there is some sadness. Eventually, you capitulate. You say, "Okay, I was wrong. I'm gonna dump the damn thing." That is precisely when you buy that stuff. Somebody asked J.P. Morgan, this is over 150 years ago, you know, when is a good time to buy stock? And his answer was, you buy stocks when there's blood on the street, even if it's your own. Okay? Or, when I was actively in the market, especially in Turkish market, which is affected a lot more with these kinds of biases. And, you know, being a city with a lot of traffic, I didn't even know how to drive until I took the job at EKU. I realized I could not take a bus from Lexington to Richmond, where I lived at the time. I did not even know how to drive, literally. So I took cabs everywhere. Cabs are relatively cheap in Istanbul anyway. And cab drivers, just like everywhere, they want to chat you up, especially when there's traffic. This guy sees me in a suit and a tie and says, "What do you do for a living?" This. As soon as they started asking me which stocks to buy, I have a lot of money I want to get in, I knew it was time to get out. Okay? Because these people, a cabbie, by their nature, obviously low income people, right? So they do not want to lose money. The only reason they think they're going to make money because everybody tells them they're going to make money. So he wants to get in. When those people, this is essentially the reverse of the fifth wave of the elite waves, you know, uh, similar to denial of loss. A lot of people deny, oh, it's a speculation. Markets can't go up, keep going up. But somebody is going to be in the bandwagon at the last stop, right? Even if there is no rational reason for a market to go up, you can still make money as long as you are less dumb than the last person that's going to be dumb. Okay? All you have to be is slightly less dumb. You can make a lot of money. Of course, you need to be lucky as well. Sometimes you are that last guy. All right. And when people ask you in the elevator which stock to buy, it's time to get out. It's that simple. And these are all because of behavioral biases. Let me see. I mean, you can read some of it yourself. We talked about overconfidence. It's basically guiding. I mean, there is actual research on this. Men are likely to overtrade, and uh, and it leads to lower trading returns. For example, this is very common, and you guys probably are getting emails on offers to do foreign currency trades at very low cost, right? Anybody who hasn't gotten any email like that? There are these foreign currency trading brokerages, almost no cost trading, no brokerage fees, no nothing. In fact, they don't even ask you to put too much money as collateral. You think it's too good to be true. You know why? 95% of the people who put trades in these online foreign currency trading brokerages lose money. On a typical, I'm not talking about minor currencies, I'm talking about major currencies. On a typical day, the best foreign currency traders have a hit ratio that is less than 52%, which means all best traders pick the direction of the exchange rate right only 52% of the time. Best traders, okay? On, you know, prop trading desks of big banks. We're talking about, big swinging Richards here. I mean, they're on the right 52% of the time. And these guys get a lot of bonuses and stuff. So it's very close to the game. If you're disciplined in these markets, which means you have stop loss rules, you take losses early, and you let profitable positions ride, you can even make money with 48% hit ratio. So even though you're not right more than half of the time, you can still make money by being disciplined. And they kind of, train you in these things. Obviously, these amateur people are not trained in any of these. They trade with their feelings. 95% of them lose money. 95%. They have 5% hit ratio. There was one Turkish brokerage company, and initially, those days, they were charging spreads and other stuff. So they were making money off of the volume, which is a completely legitimate business, right? Your clients do a lot of trades, you make a lot of commissions, everybody's happy. One day they realized a very large portion of their clients were losing money. Okay, this kind of leads to so-called law of small numbers. They see a pattern. They say, "Oh, 90% of our clients are losing money." Normally, when you're a broker, you tell me to go buy $1 million and sell euros against that. I basically do it for you. I charge you a little bit of a spread in between and make money off of that, just to wet my beak a little bit. That's it. If I realize that 90% of the time you're going to lose money, I have an incentive essentially not to take the other side of that position. So I'm going to do it uncovered, take it. So if you buy the $1 million and you lose money, you're going to pay me. If you make money, I'm going to pay you. Essentially, I sell you the dollars and you sell me the euros. But if 90% of my clients make their own decisions, I can make a killing out of that. These guys did completely that. They started making some money and they said, "Oh, we can make a killing out of this." One day, they did this for all of their trades. And that day, these clients who get it wrong 90% of the time ended up getting it right. The company went bankrupt. Why? Because they went with law of small numbers. They saw a pattern and they assumed that that pattern was going to continue. It's that simple. I'll give you one more example, then I'll let you guys go home. There's actually a movie about this. Have you guys heard of a guy named Nick Leeson? This guy was the reason there is no Barings Bank anymore. Barings Bank was known as the Queen's Bank. It was a British bank, and right now it's known as the ING Barings Bank because the Dutch bank ING ended up buying them for £1 in 1995, I think. This Nick Leeson was working in the Singapore branch of Barings Bank. Barings Bank was so big, the Queen did most of their banking with the Barings Bank. It was considered the safest bank you can think of. This guy had a simple job.